I'll be analyzing the 2021 Super Bowl ads' impact on American society and culture, using specifically two ads, Amazon's Alexa's Body and the second Michelob Ultra Happy. I'll be using three Marxist theories, which is pseudo-individualization, commodity fetishism, and reification. The common thread of this year's ads has been inclusion, representation around race, gender, religion, and basically reverting common dominant stereotypes, but in some kind of way also upholding them. So with Amazon's Alexa's Body, the aim was to try and find a suitable container for Alexa, the Google voice play. So what the ad did is imagine that Michael B. Jordan would be the container for Amazon's Alexa. So here we see a saleswoman who's the creator of the new body for Alexa, and she imagines what could be a possibly good container for Alexa. And just as she's thinking that, a bus flashes with Michael B. Jordan advertising a movie. And then from there, the ad ensues her imagining what would it be like if Michael B. Jordan was Alexa's body. The ad, on one hand, does put to question the idea of bringing forth a African-American love interest or of making Black people objects of desire. But at the same time, what it does is that it reifies that idea, because while it is inclusion, which is contrary to what is popularly seen in American media, it's not necessarily helpful to use the image of people who are marginalized for the idea of selling a product. More so with how African Americans have been hypersexualized in American history, what the ad does is that it upholds that ideal while also at the same time sort of dismantling it, because there's an idea of representation. So Michael B. Jordan in this context is turned into a sex object, reified, objectified, and turned into something that is serving the capitalist machine, even though the ad questions dominant ideals. The impact of this ad, as it was one of the top ads that did well, is on one hand, people can see themselves through it, through individualization, the presentation of a very popular actor, of two dark-skinned people, but it also does put to question, what does it mean to represent a marginalized community if you're doing it to sell a product, even if it is entertainment? Michelob Ultra, on the other hand, was trying to present the idea of happiness. So what if happiness is not something that we wait for and attain at the end of success, but if we, as we are obtaining success, continue to pursue happiness? So this ad shows a series of different sports players, from tennis to basketball, cricket, golf, and questions, what if happiness has been there all along? So this brings in Marx's theory of commodity fetishism, where something that is completely unrelated to the human emotion is linked to a product. So products then start to be personified and made to have the same value as human beings would. So you see that Michelob advertises a beer and says, if you have this beer, you can then attain somewhat the same success as these people, but you can also attain happiness. So the use of pseudo-individualization here is using sports players who are part of pop culture, who are idolized, who are put on a pedestal, and then giving them beer and talking about happiness. The lasting image in the mind of the viewer is, if this actor or the sports player is happy with a Michelob beer, so can I be happy with a Michelob beer. So what it does is it sells community and togetherness and happiness and the sense of being content with oneself through a product, which is then commodity fetishism, because we fetishize the commodity in place of the emotion that we want. The impact of the ads this year makes you question, what is the role of inclusion if it's to sell a product, but also, is it truly inclusion if it is to sell a product, or is that just using people? Does it just reify marginalized communities for the idea of selling something? Thank you.